Hello. An associate of mine just returned from an African conference. And one of the things he said is that Africa is ripe for collaboration. And I quite agree. In fact, the middle name of my company is Collaboration. We say to ourselves that we are collaborators, and we really are. By nature, collaboration gives you much more peace, more progress, more expansion, and room for growth than I think pure competition does. I love competition because it pushes you, it forces you to improve your output and increase your outcomes, and it helps you to be better users of resources. So it makes you more efficient as well as more effective. Competition is great if it is channeled right. However, imagine what collaboration can do when collaboratively you are competing. It used to be a boss of mine that coined that phrase for me, and it has stayed with me. Co-opetition, where you collaborate to compete, and the benefits are immense. He talked then, and I embraced it, that multilateral arrangements are beautiful, but imagine where you have sector-wide arrangements. It helps you to leapfrog and get to your destination faster, better, with less utilization of resources. And I agree with that. I agree wholeheartedly that collaboration is the way to go. But what happens when you want to collaborate and you get your fingers burnt? We have had our fingers burnt several times at Advantage Health Africa, yet we have not dropped the notion that collaboration is the way to go. Sometimes you find out that some ingredients missing in your intention to collaborate. One, you do not agree the terms. When you do not agree terms, you assume that others understand the terms that you're operating in. Second is the culture can clash. If your values, your very beliefs, the very system that helps you to stand erect are at variance, what begins to happen is that you will gear nastily against one another and you will not be able to collaborate for long. The third is when your intentions are not clearly spelled out to align with one another. And I'll give you an example. You might intend to utilize that collaborative effort for national expansion, while another intends to utilize that collaboration for brand presence and for reputational repair. If you align and say, look, I will gain national presence, you will gain brand reputation, and so on, and they are not mutually exclusive. That's a phrase you must learn more about. They're not mutually exclusive. Then we can work together. I have talked before about an agoin seller and a bread seller who work together. The bread seller is not competing with the agoin seller, and the agoin seller is also not competing with the bread seller. Now imagine the day that the agoin seller says, you know what, I'm going to set up my own bread shop and my little kid will work with me. Then competition comes. Certain terms need to be in place, like non-compete, non-circumvention, non-disclosure agreement. I call it the 3 nons, and I make sure that I have that in place for any time we want to collaborate. I've gone naively into certain arrangements, and I would like to advise you not to be as naive as I was. Be intentional about your vision, be intentional about your culture, be intentional about your intentions, and put in place the right safeguards so that your fingers are not burnt so many times. They will be burnt because in collaborating you will meet different characters, but please be prepared to know that the benefits far outweigh the demerits. And for us in Africa, we know that to go fast, you may want to go alone, but to go far, to go further than we've ever gone, you may want to go together with others.